Welcome to the J Hopson Radio Show on this Monday night, 3 minutes after 6 o'clock, following a big win over Southern University, game that a lot of folks will be talking about. It's not in the aspect of the win, just the way the Braves got it done. Coach Jay Hopson is here in studio. Glad you can join us from the flagship station, 91.7 WPRL, and on the World Wide Web, WPRL.org. In Natchez, WMIS, and WTYJ in Natchez. Give us a call, 601-877-6595. We'd love to hear from you. Short turnaround for this team as they get ready for Bama State coming in, and Malcolm Cyrus. Boy, a lot of great individual players, especially statistically in the FCS level, will be displayed on Thursday. We'll talk about that as we go along. Well, Coach Hopson, congratulations, and what an effort.
Thanks, Charles. Good win, short-lived win. We got to get back to work. We got a game here in 3 days, so hopefully that one's behind us, and the guys are moving on and getting focused toward Alabama State.
3 days in about 30 minutes. The game starts about 6:33, 6:34.
Right. It's on us. You know, it's those Thursday night games. They're great. They're great deals because you get to showcase your university on TV, but also you have to get ready in a short week.
And just talk about just a brief statement, just talking about the game on Saturday and just how we were able to fight through a little bit of adversity. We fell behind, but boy, once we got it going, we got it going.
Yeah, and one thing, they hit us early. You know, we had a little corner pressure there, and they hit us early on a kind of like a fluke play. You know, the corner batted the ball down in the air, and we really had the corner not hit it, we had a chance to pick it off and go to the house. He bats it. You know, the DB attacks the receiver, and the ball goes that way, and they pick it off and go about 60 for a touchdown. But that's the one thing that we talked to the kids about. You know, they had the one fluke play in the first quarter, but really, they really hadn't established anything on offense, and so we just had to keep doing what we're doing.
Well, let's get into the highlights, shall we? The Braves won the toss and deferred to the second half. So Southern gets their first drive at their own 25-yard line. Yep, you took a timeout there.
Yeah, we had third down, and you know, his first third down, we're having some headset problems. I think with ESPN, we had a lot of radio contact issues, so you know, we just wanted to settle them down right there and get the call in and try to stop them on third.
Yeah, Judge Bush, who did the game with me, noticed, and I noticed a little bit later, Coach Pecoraro, the defensive coordinator, was actually on the field.
Yeah, we had problems there. I think just with just talking, they said just with ESPN with the hookup and just some wirings, I think, and radio waves that got crossed, so we had to make some adjustments.
Well, Southern was able to move the football, and they had to settle for a field goal. Yeah, and despite the piece, that still had a lot of English on it.
Yeah, and you know, Anthony had two of those Saturday, he was our special teams player of the week, which were huge plays. You know, two block kicks is something you rarely see that in a game, and he's a young man that has a knack for it.
So the Braves' first drive started at their own 20-yard line, and they got to the Jaguars' 42, where it was first down and 10. Can't fault the effort.
No, we played hard. We played physical. Rags ran tremendously hard, and he knows that. We talked about we've got to hold that ball high and tight, 5-point security, wrist above the elbow. I mean, he's got to. We can't put the ball on the turf.
So with that turnover, 7:03 left in the first quarter. After a 56-yard McRaney punt, Southern 1st and 10 from their own 28th and a 3rd down and 4 from their own 45-yard line.
Well, you caught it, Charles. I couldn't have said it any better. You know, just kind of a bad break. Again, if the ball's not batted, we'd probably pick it and go to the house. But you know, we made a great play batting the ball, and just one of the ball just bounced their way and for the touchdown. But again, that was something we talked to the kids, even down 7-0. You know, I mean, sometimes fluke plays happen in football. You can't worry about that. You just got to keep playing.
Yeah, it was 7-0 Jaguars. The Braves' next drive following that touchdown by Southern started at their own 18-yard line. They were faced with a 2nd down and 16, then a 3rd down and 5, converted both of those. So it's 1st down for the Braves at Southern's 35-yard line. Ruling on the field was a touchdown after about 4 or 5 minutes. After looking at it, touchdown ASU.
Yeah, big play by Ladarian, nice throw by Zarek, and a big catch by Ladarian.
So it was a 7-7 game, Jay Hopson, at the end of the first quarter. Your thoughts there?
Well, I thought everything was going great because I thought we were moving the ball offensively. I thought defensively we were playing really good. I mean, again, we had we had a fumble on the first drive. You know what I'm saying? We had the mishap on the batted ball, fluke touchdown. So there wasn't a lot of concern right now. You know, you don't never like being down 7-0, but at the end of the day, we were playing good and things were going fine. We just had to continue.
7-7 game. We'll take our time out here 10 minutes after 6. 601-877-6595. A lot of highlights to get to. We'll hear from John Gibbs coming up on the post-game show. Cedric Tillman caught up with him, as well as the A-Train. Talked with Cedric Tillman on the field after the game. You'll hear those thoughts coming up as we get to the second quarter highlights in 1 minute. You're listening live to the Jay Hopson Radio Show. All right, 12 minutes after 6 o'clock as we look at the second quarter highlights. Of course, we'll break this game down, go inside the numbers, look at the games around the conference, and we'll talk about the whiteout. That's Thursday night. Fans are encouraged to wear white on Thursday. We'll give you all that information as we roll along here on the Jay Hopson Radio Show. All right, second quarter highlights. The Braves had it 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line. Gives to Rollins for 53 yards. It got to the Jaguars' 24-yard line. Ragsdale with a 12-yard run, so it was 1st down and 10 from the Jaguars' 12-yard line. That's on the back end of what we call the speed. You were really going into that no huddle and caught Southern off guard, and Ragsdale with two big plays, including the touchdown.
Right, just hit the zone play, nice run by Rags.
Well, to tell you what, when this Braves offense goes fast, Jay Hopson, I mean, teams got to burn timeouts. What do you do defensively? I mean, you have to either call a timeout to slow things down, you try to keep up, and you get open holes and open lanes like Ragsdale had.
Well, that's kind of the wave of college football. Everybody does it to a degree. So, I mean, it's the spread offense and the spread system has brought a lot of that into the college game.
It was an 89-yard drive, 6 plays, 2:22 off the clock. So after being down 7-0, up 14-7, you felt like the old mold, the momentum shifted a little bit there.
Well, again, I thought it's always good. Like I said, Charles, it's better to be up 14-7, down 7-0. But I think we were executing pretty well. You know, I mean, on both sides of the ball. Just again, offensively, hold on the ball. Defensively, you know, we had the mishap, but at the end of the day, I thought they were playing pretty well on both sides.
Southern's next drive started at their own 25-yard line, got to their own 41, where it was 2nd down and 10. Talk about Moody.
Moody, big fumble recovery. Dion Robertson had the cause fumble, but big play by our 2D linemen. That big momentum play that helps us to go up 2 scores.
Yep, so 14-7 at that point. The Braves had it 1st and 10 from Southern's 38. The A-Train with a 20-yard run on the drive, then 1st and goal from Southern's 8, then 3rd down and goal from the Jaguars' 6-yard line. That was pretty.
It was pretty nice boot play. Good catch by Landre. John put it on the money, so it's big time play. You know, at that point, that was a critical down because, you know, it's 3rd down. We got to convert, and you know, you don't want to put it. We'll kick it if we have to. But those touchdowns add up.
Talk about Landre Young. Hasn't been used that much except for blocking, but it's good to see him get a touch.
Yeah, I mean, he's got extremely good hands. He's very athletic. He actually runs the ball well, too. You know, you did that last year. I mean, he's got a lot of big runs for us also. And if you remember correct, Landre had the big punt fake 2 years ago here that was really the game changer in the game. So he's made some big plays against Southern, and you know, that one was a big one.
21-7, 9.5 left till halftime. The next Braves possession started at their own 16. There was a personal foul penalty in there, so it was 1st and 10 from the 8. Ragsdale, a big run of 31 yards on the drive to Southern's 42. So it was 1st down and 10 from the Jaguars' 23-yard line.
I think John, you know, continues, like we've talked about, continues to get better and better. You know, just did a great job on his reads Saturday, and you know, that's what happens when you do a great job reading.
So it was 28-7 at that point, Jay Hopson, and then all of a sudden the Jaguars come right back.
Yeah, the special teams is that one area. I thought for the first 4 games we had really won the special team battle each week. I didn't feel like we did that Saturday. Again, we got to keep them contained, and you know,
we just got to do a better job there, because it should have been a tackle on the 8-yard line. You know what I'm saying? We had him wrapped up. We had the ball contained, and then we dipped inside and didn't stay outside, and they took it 70 yards down the sideline. And that's something, especially with a player of the caliber of Willie Quinn, who's dangerous, and you can't do that. And again, momentum, like you talked about a while ago, Charles, was going good. We're up 28-7, and now we have a big kickoff return. Then we're going to have a fumble, and you get into halftime and it's a ball game. You can't have those type plays.
Yeah, and as a result of that kickoff, that set them up, and they had to settle for a field goal of 36 yards with 4:28 left till halftime. So at that point, it was 28-10. Alcorn's next drive started at their own 34, and on the 2nd and 10 from Southern's 41, an A-train fumble recovered by the Jaguars at the 34. So you have 3:21 left. The defense holds after a 50-yard Soden punt and a parent fumble by Anthony Williams Jr. It was reviewed. Southern got the football at the 25-yard line, Jay Hopson, and that's what replay is for. Anything that's close, that's right on the edge, they're going to take a look at it. And it was a case, it was late, a play was run later on in the game, but nonetheless, like we were talking just before we went on the air, fumble's a fumble even when they look at it.
That's right. I don't think there's many coaches that have a problem with that. We deserve to lose the ball. It's a fumble. The officials did a great job. I mean, Southern deserved to have the football right there. And I think if it is what it is, that's all you can ask.
So Southern had it at the Braves 25 with less than a minute left, 56 seconds to be exact. Then they were able to move the football a little bit. 1st and goal from the Braves 3-yard line. Yep.
We just had too many mistakes, and you just said it, Charles. The turnovers allowed them to get back in the ball game, and that's something that you can't do and be successful. And so we've got to correct that.
28-16 at halftime, when we were probably a score away from putting this thing away, maybe at halftime, and all of a sudden, bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, they're right back in it.
You're in a ball game. That's right.
28-16. We'll take a look at the third quarter highlights coming up in 1 minute. 601-877-6595. The Braves really, they were up against it, and just the impressive part about this team, when adversity strikes, they seem to kick it up a notch. We'll talk about that when we come back in 1 minute on the Jay Hopson Radio Show. That seems to be the thing. I mean, when something bad happens, somehow we just put it in the rearview mirror and keep on rolling. I know you don't want it to happen.
You have to do. That's right. That's part of this game. But, we had way too many turnovers, Saturday.
Yeah. Just not securing the ball.
Well, I think sometimes, Charles, we just don't need to go for that extra yard's not that important. You know what I'm saying? It's 1st down or 2nd down. If it's 4th and 1 with the ball game on the line, sometimes we're reaching the just get tackled and let's move on. Sometimes I think we're trying to do too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, welcome back to the Jay Hopson Radio Show. We are live at the flagship station of the Alcorn Football Radio Network, WPRL and WPRL.org, as well as in Natchez, WMIS, WTYJ. Calvin Butler and Miss Diana Nutter doing a good job down there in Natchez. They've been covering Braves football for a long time, as well as our high school games that we do. We'll be in Port Gibson on Friday night as the Sharks open their season against McGee. So we'll have that contest. Of course, Jay Hopson, you're very familiar with high school football. A lot of stuff going on there, so I always look forward to that. As we look at the third quarter highlights, it was a ball game, 28-16. The Braves' first drive, of course, they deferred to the second half, so they got the ball first at their 25-yard line. They had a 3rd down and 1, Ragsdale fumble. Southern recovered at midfield. Southern ran a play. Then there was a booth review. We were talking about that before we went on the air. I guess you got to get it right, and even though people might be upset about the fact that a play was run, nonetheless, they just want to take another look at it.
That's right. You get it right, and really they blew the whistle before the play was run. I mean, they stopped it before the play was run, but the play took off. You know,
Yeah.
and so I mean they did the right thing, and I don't think again there's any coach that doesn't want it to be right. You know, that's why all the coaches voted for instant replay. You know, if we fumbled it, we fumbled it. You know what I'm saying? If you know if it's the right call, then so be it. You know, everybody's okay.
So after about an 8-minute conversation and looking at it several times, it was ruled a fumble. So the Jaguars had the football at midfield. But, Jay Hopson, the important thing is the defense held. And I thought that was a big turning point in this game.
It was a huge stand. We had a couple of stands off turnovers on defense, which was big. And, you know, no damage done. And that was critical. You know, as a matter of fact, I think, and I could be wrong, Charles, the only points they scored off turnovers was right before the halftime, you know, the one down, the punt fumble. So the defense did a good job when that adversity struck. You know, they came in there and did a good job and slammed the door on Southern.
Yeah, so after the defense held Soden's 46-yard punt, and he really pinned us back most of the game, including this situation. The Braves had it 1st and 10 from their own 2-yard line, and maybe the drive of the year so far.
Excellent drive.
"98-yard drive, 10 plays, 4:27 off the clock, 2 big third down conversions, including a 3rd and long backed up deep." Doesn't get any better than that.
No, it does. That was a great job of the offensive staff and great job by players. And it was that was a big time drive because, you know, after the turnover, you know, they were winning the field. You know, I mean, we backed up. If they stop us, and we had some big third down conversions on that drive, which was critical. You know, we get backed up, and then we have to punt it back to them and give the ball back to Southern on the positive side. And if something bad happened, now you're in that 1-score ball game. You know, so that was a huge drive, and I think it really just set the momentum for the rest of the game.
Well, the Braves got another score after that to make it 42-16 at the end of the 3rd quarter. And when I looked at that drive, Jay Hopson, that reminded me of your first game, Grambling and Shreveport, where we needed a big drive to win it in the final seconds in Shreveport, and a drive similar to that, how we were able to mix and match and really execute when we needed to.
And no question, that was a memorable drive, as was this one. And you know, and I thought offensively we did a great job Saturday with long drives. And we had 3, I know maybe 4 drives that were right over 80 yards. So I mean that's impressive, and that's an impressive offensive day. And the players and Coach Simmons and the offensive staff did a tremendous job there.
We'll take a look at the 4th quarter, and we'll get post-game reaction coming up after this 1-minute timeout. 26 minutes after 6 o'clock, the Jay Hopson radio show rolls on in 60 seconds. We were on the wrong end of the field position, too. I mean, we were backed up most of the game. And for us to able to, you know, so pinned us back, and we had long drives.
We had even the first one was a long drive. You know what I'm saying? They came in, and you know, it was a couple times. I think first drive we got stopped back there, and the back that's when they hit the flute deal. You know what I'm saying? We came back, and I think we had one more possession that stopped us. I told you, probably been trying to get the ball back. Drove it down.
Yeah.
But it was to have 3 long drives, that's big. You know, because a lot of times, sometimes it's skewed. You know, that drive might be 30 yards or 25 yards or after a turnover, but it's really good if you go 80 yards.
All right, welcome back. 27 minutes after 6 o'clock. Give us a call here, 601-877-6595. Short week for this team in about 3 days from right now. As a matter of fact, we'll probably be about 10 minutes away from kicking it off, about 6:34 on ESPNU. The ESPN trucks and all their gear was left here at the Spakes Castle Stadium, so all they have to do is just do a couple of things, set up the cameras, and they'll be ready to roll. Haven't seen that one before, but when you have 2 TV games in such a short period of time, those are the things that happen in the TV world. We look at the fourth quarter highlights, Jay Hopson, and we're talking during the break how we were behind in the field position. I mean, we had some long drives. We talked about the 98-yard drive, but I thought, I was kind of worried, having such a long field most of the night.
Right, and I thought, again, the offense did a great job because we did drive the ball the length of the field 3 or 4 times, so that is always an impressive day. But in that same breath, I was disappointed with special teams, because at times we allowed them to get back into it, and we had opportunities like our kickoff to keep it pinned down. We let them come back and get on our side of the football field. And those are the things that we have to be good at. Our kickoff return unit, we got to get the ball out better. I didn't think we did a real good job there on Saturday. So that's one thing I talked to them about. Is we got a lot of improvement to do. In a lot of areas we got to improve on. And that's just the facts.
We have a bottom of the hour break coming up, but let's go to the phone lines. A regular caller to the show, Keisha, joins us from Houston. Was working with us with the Hopson show last year and is down in Houston. Good evening.
Hey, Keisha.
Hey.
Thanks, Keisha. We always appreciate your support, and we miss you here.
We sure do.
Thanks, Keisha. We know that. Okay, thanks, Keisha.
Appreciate it, Keisha.
Take care.
All right, Keisha joining us from Houston. As we look at the fourth quarter highlights, Jay Hopson, a couple of scores. 12:45 left. A-Train with a big touchdown run and make it 49-16, and then you put in the twos. Josh Ivory with the second touchdown of the year. And just talk about Ivory and getting that opportunity yet again and capitalizing yet again.
It's kind of like our Darren Sproles, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, we got him in early this week. I think he had the second carry of the game. So Josh actually got some PT and is well deserved. Like I said, a great kid, just a winner, and just always gets in and makes something happen. So just love the fact that he's part of our football program.
The Braves win it going away, 56-16. We'll continue the breakdown of this game coming up. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. It's the bottom of the hour. Let's pause for 10 seconds. You're listening to the Jay Hopson Radio Show. Halfway through the Jay Hopson Radio Show as the Braves win it over Southern University, 56-16. Some astronomical numbers, and we'll look at it. 82 plays in the game, and we'll talk all about it. Following the ball game, two of the big stars in the game, Anthony A-Train Williams, a terrific contest for him, and he had 151 yards on 17 carries, and he talked with Cedric Tillman following the game. Well, Anthony A-Train Williams, really a great ball game. Just talk about how hard he ran and just how effective he was.
Just you know, Anthony's just one of those kids. I love him to death. He's just you know, he's a, like I said, he's a great kid. He's a great football player. But he's physical. He comes to play. He comes to practice. You know, I always say, Mom and Dad did a great job with him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a young man that just has a lot of self-motivation and fortitude, and just and we're certainly proud he's brave.
So the A-Train with over 100 yards on the ground, and then John Gibbs, 14 of 21, 224 yards, and I thought he was pretty flawless throughout the game.
He really was. He had a lot of good reads. You know, John. You know, again, John is a guy that I think, you know, you just see him growing up before your eyes, and he's a guy that I think each week just continues to get better, and that's what we need from John. And John, again, you know, like I said, I say the same thing about John. Love him to death. He's a hard worker. He's a guy that we count on to get things done offensively, and he's a guy that comes to play every Saturday.
At this stage, knowing he knows this offense and how the game is slowing down for him, obviously, as he continues to improve, what are some of the things that he still needs to work on at this point?
You know, I mean, I don't know, Charles, if there's any one pinpoint thing. I think John is just, I think he's going out every day just striving for that perfection. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he's got to do, and I think that's what John's trying to do.
How has he handled the success part of it? I mean, we're on a little roll right now, and of course the quarterback most times is the captain of the team. How's he handled that aspect?
John's very mature. I mean, you know, and I think that's something he's learned being a 3-year starter, and I think that comes with maturity. You know, I think anytime you get a mature quarterback that's got a lot of snaps under his belt, that's a big advantage for a football team. You know, I think that's something, you know, as a freshman, we would have, you know, some of those highs and lows like all quarterbacks do as a freshman, you know. And, you know, you just see it as they get older and get more playing time. And experience comes with playing time. And the only way you get experience is to get out there and play. And that's something John has been playing for us for 3 years now. And thank goodness we have one more with him. But he's got a lot of snaps under his belt, and he's playing like a mature quarterback.
And he's a mass communications major, so I see him through here every day and just talking to people, and the gleam in his eye, just the excitement about the opportunity. Clearly he appreciates that, and he talked with Cedric Tillman following the ball game. All right, that's John Gibbs. Very mature conversation there with Cedric Tillman. 14 of 21, 224 yards, sacked once, and that's only the second sack yielded by the Braves, and that came late in that fourth quarter. I was hoping we could keep that one number intact, Jay Hopson.
Well, it's part of the game. We go through the season, no sacks. We didn't expect that.
I'm spoiled.
Hopefully we can keep it at one.
Yeah.
That's the mission now.
We'll take a timeout here and we'll go inside the numbers. We'll turn the page and get ready for this Thursday night contest. A big one is Alabama State comes in here, and we'll talk about Malcolm Cyrus, and we'll talk about their quarterback. And this team's won 4 in a row, and they've got some individuals that are ranked in the FCS. So do the Braves. So this should be a prime time, big time matchup coming up. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. It's 38 minutes after 6 o'clock. Jay Hopson Radio Show rolls on in 1 minute. All right, 39 minutes after 6 o'clock here on the beautiful campus of Alcorn State University. And attendance listed 18,759. And I must say, and I know, Coach, you're bouncing around on game day, focusing on the game, but I'm bouncing around on the parking lot, different areas around the stadium. And I have to give kudos to all the university personnel, campus police, and everybody involved for a game like that. The RV starting rolling in here last Tuesday, and the crowd was really into it. Everybody was where they were supposed to be. Just a great festive atmosphere, and I have to say, a job well done by operations people and everybody involved.
No question. You know, it takes more than just players and coaches to put on a show, you know, put on a game of that magnitude. And you mentioned it, from the police to operations people to everyone. You know, Sodexo, you going down the line, you know what I'm saying? Everybody did a great job on Saturday. So, I mean, just really a great job by everybody, and we certainly appreciate it as a football program.
And just being here, a part of the university, a part of the Spinks Stadium, Spinks Castle Stadium environment, the fact that we have such a beautiful campus, and because of the fact it's a safe environment, people want to come and have a good time. That really adds to the attendance, and folks just want to come and tailgate and just be here and be a part of it.
You know, it's such a beautiful setting, and you said it, Charles. You know, when you look at the campus with the tailgating atmosphere, man, it does. It just kind of takes your breath away.
Yeah.
You just got to be like, wow. You see the lakes,
Yeah.
and you can see President Rankin's house over on the lake, and
Yeah.
you see the, you know, you see the chapel, and you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you just look back and go, wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful campus, and it's something that hopefully, you know, we can get some more TV games over the years and showcase it, but just that atmosphere when the big crowds are here, it really is a neat thing.
And that's why the Jaguar Nation loves to come here. They love to come early, 2 hours away from their campus.
No question, and you know, we should have another big one here toward the end where we'll have that same type festive environment, if not even more people, you know, and it's on campus. So you know, that's always a beautiful thing, just to see the campus lit up with all the alumni and all the friends on campus, you know, reminiscing and hanging out and tailgating,
Yeah.
and everybody's in their RVs and cooking out. It's just, it's what college football is all about, and
Yeah.
hopefully, you know what I'm saying, that can become a week in and week out atmosphere, because we'll do our best to try to get the W. You know, that's what we're going to try to do every Saturday, but you know, it's just such a special thing that brings all alumni and everybody back together.
Of course, we've got homecoming coming up as well, so I'm sure we'll have this all over again. Continue to play well. Games in between there, obviously Alabama State and Grambling, before we get to homecoming. All right, let's get to the numbers, Coach. When I was handed the final stats after the game, I was blown away when I looked at our totals offensively. 682 yards in 82 plays, despite the miscues.
No question, and I think that's something that, like I said, a stat sheet to me, I look inside a stat sheet.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes things look good, but they're not. But the thing to me that was so impressive about the offense on Saturday was the long drives. You know, we had 21 points, but those, even if we had finished with 21 or 28 with those long drives, that's an impressive offensive showing. And you know, they weren't 30-yard drives. We were going 80 and 90 yards for touchdowns. So, and you know, you do that 4 times, that's almost 360 yards.
Yeah.
So you know, you get 28 points and almost 300 plus yards. So that to me was impressive. I thought the offense did a great job there. I thought, you know, and if I had to go down the line, I'd say I thought the thing the defense did good was with the turnovers and the minus field. They seemed to come in and slam the door every time, you know, except for one time before half. And again, the phase that I thought we didn't do real well in Saturday was the special teams department.
Well, just to verify your point, of the 9 touchdowns that we had, 8 of them consisted of drives of 60 yards or more.
That's impressive. You know what I'm saying? That's an impressive offensive showing right there. And I thought, you know, again, Coach Simmons, the offensive staff, and our offensive players, I thought, not just Train and John, but I thought offensive line-wise, I thought we made a big step from the Valley game to Southern up front on the offensive line. I think those guys answered the bell, and I thought we did a great job out wide at receiver. We made some big plays there,
And you know, that's what it's all about. But you know, like everything, we're going in and on offense, we're going in on defense, we're going in on special teams, knowing that there's certainly some things we still gotta clean up.
We talked about Gibbs, 224 through the air. We talked about the A-Train, heard from him. Ragsdale, another solid day. A newcomer of the week in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, 13 carries, above 25. A part of a 426-yard rushing effort. Gibbs for 48, McKenzie 29, Josh Ivory 26. So a lot of different people got involved, including Norris Footman, who saw some action. Gibbs, like I said, 272 through the air total passing the football between with Rollins with the throw and then Footman and then Gibbs. Of that, Zarek Rollins 99 yards.
Good to see Zarek. Zarek made a huge play, you know, in the second quarter. That was a huge yards after catch effort he had there that got us down in scoring position to set up Rags' touchdown in the early second quarter. But I thought that play was a momentum shifter.
Darian Davis 50 yards, and then Jordan Payne 27, Charles Hughes 23. I thought Brandon Vessel, you know, being from Baton Rouge, I know we were trying to get him the football a little bit more, but one reception for 19 yards. Billy Shedd, I thought he had a big reception of 17 yards.
Very smart football play. That was a third down conversion, and Billy, he just lowered his head and got the first down. It kept a drive alive that allowed us to score. You know, had he tried to set up a move and go sideways, if we wouldn't have gotten the first down, we would have punted the football. But I thought that was a heads-up play by Billy, just moving the stakes and allowing the offense to continue to stay on the field.
And of all the receptions in the game, there was one that you just have to have a warm heart, and that is Diego Sama getting in the ball game. One reception for 13 yards. Talk about that.
Diego's a young man that has overcome a lot in his life, and I was just proud to see him get the catch. And he's a young man that's going to be a really good football player here. And again, you know, true miracle in a lot of the things that he's overcome and doing well in college. So I'm extremely proud of Diego.
All right, it's 46 minutes after. We're going to go to the phone line. We're going to go down to Tallahassee, Florida. Cedric Foster is joining us from Tallahassee, and we say good evening.
Thank you, Cedric. Right. Right. Cedric, thank you so much, and thank you for your support. That's something that you don't know how valuable that is to our program, and you know, the things that we're able to do for these young men. And I just want to thank you for what you and your wife are doing for Alcorn State University, and you can tell your friends down there at FAMU and Florida State, you know, they can take a look on TV now and just see how beautiful the reservation is. You know what I'm saying? And we'll put it up against anywhere in America until they find something beautiful. Thanks, Cedric.
All right, Cedric joining us from Tallahassee. And, you know, as the wins keep coming and you've traveled around, Coach, just talk about the enthusiasm as you travel and crisscross the state, crisscross the South, crisscross the region for Alcorn State University and Braves football.
Well, I think it's the one thing that you have to love about our university is our alumni, our diehard purple and gold. You know, and they you know, there's tremendous support around the state, and you know, that's something that, and then, you know, the great thing about Alcorn is we have a beautiful campus, and we have such a rich tradition, not just football, we have a rich tradition at Alcorn, and it's a tradition like no other. And, you know, I think sometimes when student athletes and parents, and you know, it doesn't really have to be a student athlete, it could just be a student. When they come on this campus and they begin to learn of all the first of Alcorn and the tradition of Alcorn, I think it's something that it's really just amazing. And, you know, with this tradition and the heritage of Alcorn, you know, there is no place like it.
Wow, well said. We'll take a time out here. When we come back, we'll quickly look at the SWAC report. We'll give you some of the accolades that the football players are getting. Hayden McRaney, Will Ragsdale, we talked about that. And we'll talk about the whiteout coming up on Thursday night, and we'll look forward to Alabama State. We'll preview the Hornets coming up, and we'll get to all that coming up 50 minutes after, back in 60 seconds on the Jay Hopson Radio Show.
Hi, I'm Andy, a professional soccer player and a future soccer mom. I know how fun
You know him? Have you read him?
I also know how frustrating when it's sideline play. So I think
Did you ever get in touch with Billy? Did you ever get in touch with Billy? Did you ever get in touch with Billy?
I spent years training to become a world-class athlete.
I can get over it. I mean, the season's out, I can get over it, but I know he'll do something.
They're experts in their
We do the Biggs program, might bring him over to the show in Pittsburgh.
All right, 51 minutes after 6 o'clock, the Alcorn State University family and friends are encouraged to wear white and everything else white if possible for the Braves game Thursday against Alabama State. The contest will be televised on ESPNU instead of the normal purple and gold Braves attire worn to games. Fans should wear white. Parking and tailgating are free. Faculty, staff, and students enter free with university credentials, and there's special pricing as well. Tickets are only $5 for the game. To purchase tickets, you can email the ticket office, tickets@alcorn.edu, or give them a call, 601-877-6822 or 601-877-6823. For coverage of Braves football, you can follow the Braves on Twitter @Braves Sports. All right, Jay Hopson, we talked about Ragsdale Newcomer of the Week, Hayden McRaney, the specialist of the week in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And you look at, and I was looking at this and breaking down the game, you know, the Braves defensively ranked in terms of the FCS, a number of categories, net punting, punt return in the top 6, total D, number 6 in the FCS. So when you look at this team, not only are we doing some good things conference-wise, but we're getting some FCS love as well.
Well, you know, that's always good, Charles, but it's all about the W's. I'm not a stat guy, you know what I'm saying? It's always, I mean, that's good, but we know, you know, whether it's defense, offense, special teams, it's our coach, our defense. I give shout out to the offensive guys. Coach Peck and that staff does a great job, too, on defense, and they do a tremendous job, as does Coach Simmons, our offensive staff. But we you know, we know it's all about the W's and the L's and not about the stat card.
Of course, the Braves got 40 votes for the top 25 in the FCS. You know, you brought up something, and we'll, you know, end it on this segment, and we'll get ready for Bama State. You know, you talked about the new offensive scheme, the zone read offense. You know, people talk about, you know, going back in the day, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, the wishbone, the spread, and now it's the read option. You know, talk about how this game, college football, has transformed itself, you know, throughout your time in following this game.
Ooh, since I started back as a young coach, wow, it's changed a lot. I mean, you know, when you got it one back double twins, it was revolutionary, man. I mean, it was 22 backs and a tight end and 21 personnel. You know, so I mean, the game's ever evolving, and it always has been, and it always will be, and that's just football. I think the spread is kind of the dominant deal right now in college football. You know, but it's one thing that's been proven in football, as in life. You know, change is going to happen, and they're going to, you know, who knows when we're real old, Charles, what we'll be seeing on TV and football. You know, so things are constantly changing, and just part of the time.
All right, 55 minutes after, we'll take a break and we'll dig into Alabama State. Malcolm Cyrus, 4 straight 100-yard games for him. We'll talk about Bama State when we come back. All right, 55 minutes, now 56 minutes after the hour. Let's look at Alabama State in such a short turnaround. Obvious question, Jay Hopson, the level of difficulty in preparing for a game like this, coming off an emotional game against your arch rival.
Well, I mean, you got to, like we talked to the kids in the dressing room after the game, enjoy it until you lay your head on the pillow, and you know, it's time to move on. So that's in the past. That's got to stay in the past. We know we have a excellent football team that has, you know, just continues to, you know, have good teams and year in and year out. Coach Baller does a good job there, and we know it's a game that we got to be ready to play.
We talked about their running game, one of the tops in FCS, averaging 5.9 yards per carry. This team is 4-1. They've won 4 in a row. They lost their season opener at Sam Houston State, but victories over Tennessee State, Valley, UAPB, and a 38-3 win over Texas Southern. You look at their quarterback, Daniel Duhart, at 6 touchdowns, 3 picks, almost 1,000 yards. You talk about Malcolm Cyrus. That's been the big focal point. Just talk about him at 5'10", and he's averaging 7.1 yards a carry.
You know, he's just, you know, an explosive back. He's made a lot of big plays. He's quick, fast. You know, he's a guy that has made plays for them for the last 3 years. You know, and everybody knew, you know, I think sometimes when Crowell was there, you know, that was the big talk because he was such a, you know, and Crowell's gone on to the NFL and done a really good job in the NFL. But, you know, Malcolm Cyrus was running for just as many or more yards than Isaiah Crowell was, you know. So at the end of the day, we know he's an excellent back, and we know we got to be ready to play.
Defensively, Jay Hopson, Darius Washington was the Defensive Player of the Week in the Southwestern Athletic Conference against Texas Southern. 10 tackles, 5 solo, and 2 sacks, and he leads that defensive unit.
Yeah, smart football player, playmaker, and he was a playmaker for him last year too. You know, he was a really good football player. So, you know, it's again, we got a good football team coming into town, and we better be ready to play.
This team defensively, 19 sacks and 6 interceptions. Just talk about the defense overall and their strong suits.
Well, they give you a lot of different looks, and always have. And Coach Ramsey, their defensive coordinator, likes to mix it up, and you know, and that's kind of their staple. You know, and that's what they do. But you know, at the end of the day, I mean, it's as always, Charles. We have the utmost respect for Alabama State and everybody we play. We know we've got a really good football team. They've beaten us the last 2 years, and we know we got to be ready to go.
Finally, Coach, I can't remember a big TV game, a SWAC TV game that has a lot of folks talking. I mean, this is a big one here with what Bama State has done and what we've done. and we hope it's a big crowd that comes out on Thursday.
Yeah, I think that's important. You know, we would love to have a big crowd. You know, just, I mean, the exposure and the what we were able to do Saturday as far as putting that type of environment out to the nation and letting everybody know what a special place Alcorn is. And hopefully this Thursday we'll have a big crowd, and we'll really showcase our university on ESPNU.
All right, we're going to talk with Tim Gale on the pregame show, which is at 6 o'clock, and we're going to talk with Charlie Spiller, former wide receiver, the leading wide receiver in Alcorn history. We're going to talk with him at halftime, so stay tuned for that. Coach, let's go get him.
All right, Charles.
That's Coach Jay Hopson on the Jay Hopson radio show on this Monday night. Braves football against Bama State. Let's welcome the Hornets to town. 6:33 the kickoff. Tickets are $5 for the game. That'll do it for the Jay Hopson radio show. All the highlights next week as we get ready for Grambling. For our producer Jamario Brooks and head coach Jay Hopson, I'm Charles Edmond. We'll talk to you on Thursday night. So long.